Friday's day of trial and cleansing saw the largest turnout of Egyptians protesting in Tahrir Square since the former Egyptian President Mubarak was forced to step down 8 weeks ago. The protesters are calling for the swift arrest and trial of former officials, including the ousted president himself. This is while the military council announced that several former ministers, including Mubarak's chief of staff Zakaria Azmi, were detained. Azmi was sent to prison for 15 days for further investigation. But for the protesters, these arrests are an attempt to appease their demands.
We will not give up. Those who are reluctant to meet our demands should realize that we cannot take it anymore.
But for the protesters, these arrests are an attempt to appease their demands. The past weeks have seen a shift in the attitudes towards the ruling military council, which was initially hailed for not firing a single bullet against protesters. However, for weeks, the 20-man council that rules the country has been accused of lacking transparency, and the army has been allegedly involved in several human rights violations, making protesters feel uneasy about the fate of the revolution.
The corrupt officials should step down from their positions in places such as city councils, government offices, universities and banks.
The demonstration was called for by a number of youth movements, political parties, and for the first time in 2 months was backed by the Muslim Brotherhood, who came out to join protesters in their demands.
The revolution is not over yet. We still want to make sure that the remains of the former regime will not stay in power.
A number of former army officers, as they identified themselves, spoke out against the head of the army. Also, a mock trial of former President Mubarak took place in the square, where he was found guilty on charges of corruption and treason. Over 1 million Egyptians came out on Friday's day of trial and cleansing, as they called it, demanding the swift trial of former corrupt officials. And perhaps the sheer number of demonstrators and the strength of the message that they are sending the army will propel the ruling military council to take quicker steps towards reform. Mai Kamel, Press TV, Cairo.